What's up everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new, my name's Michelle and we are getting to the next Marvel series, What If. Now, I gotta say, I am loving all of these mini-series. I think they have been so wonderful at giving characters that we've known throughout the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's giving them more material, more focus, more space, more time to feel, grow, explore their characters, we get them in a way that we've never gotten them before. Like characters that are always in the peripheral get to be like the main focus, because a lot of the main focus characters like Steve and Tony, which from what I'm understanding, they're coming back for the next Avengers movie, which on one level I'm happy, on another level it's kind of sad, because it's like, you know, it's not going to be the characters that you've known them as. But I don't want to get into that. Let's just stay here. Let me not like go off on a tangent. Now, as I was saying about these series, two of them have made me cry so far. WandaVision got me, Falcon and the Winter Soldier got me, and those were the only two that made me cry. But regardless, they have given, specifically like Wanda and Loki and Sam. I do wish I got a little bit more Bucky in the Falcon and Winter Soldier series, but I'm fine with that. I'm just saying that we have gotten these characters that were on the peripheral came front and center and were able to carry their own series and go through their own little roller coaster of emotions, and we get to see them, and the actors get to live in their characters in a different way. I'm sorry if you can hear, because I think the house across from me or to the left of me, whatever, someone's mowing their lawn right now. So if you can hear that, you shouldn't be able to hear it. But if you can, I apologize. Now, what if? Just judging off the name, as well as like the title, what if Captain Carter were the first Avenger, I'm assuming we're getting different scenarios that play out, like alternate timelines. And I am curious on whether or not this is in direct, like, not to say it's real, but just coming off a series like Loki, it makes me wonder if there's like real implications within the universe, not like real life implications, but like inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If, like, because Sylvie kills the one who remains, I wonder if doing that, like, she frees the timeline, and this is sort of like a glimpse into different variants or different alternate possible timelines that are now occurring, and they're free to occur. I don't know if it has like, what if it's just like a, you know, like a cute little animated series, or if it's actually like sort of saying, hey, this is what is now happening because of what Sylvie did. Regardless, I love that it's animated, because I'm such a huge fan of animated series. I don't think animation in general gets the respect. I do think now in the 2020s, animated TV shows, animated series, animes in general, I think we have a far more like greater appreciation for what the medium can do than we did like in the 90s or the 2000s. I feel like 2020, people's respect for the genre, and not believe, like, if the second something's animated, it means like it's a cartoon or it's not serious. But I do like that they're doing an animated series and they're having fun with it. I am curious about like voicing, if we really do get like the actors who play them, because it's gonna be so weird if it's not, y'all. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get past it if the actors aren't unless you, because you do have some really damn good voice actors out there who can mimic other people's voices, but I feel like we can tell. So I hope it's the actors who are voicing the characters. Anyways, let's get into this episode. So grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever it is you like to do when you watch your favorite reactions. Just get comfortable and let's get to
time, space, reality. It's a prism of endless possibility, where a single choice can branch out into infinite realities, creating alternate worlds from the ones you know. I am the Watcher. I am your guide through these vast new realities.
Okay.
Follow me and ponder the question
of what if.
What if?
Okay, Watcher, I'm with you.
At humanity's darkest hour, A skinny kid from Brooklyn became Captain America. After turning the tide of World War II, he made the ultimate sacrifice. But in another universe, a single choice created a whole new hero.
No, I'd prefer to stay.
There. That's the moment that created a new universe.
The serum will cause immediate cellular change. In order to prevent uncontrolled growth, the subject will be saturated with vital...
Oh, she noticed the man that killed Stanley Tucci's character. Okay. Oh no! Wait. So because she noticed, he never went through the actual super soldier creation thingamajigger.
Agent Carter, what are you doing? This is our only shot.
What are you doing? He's like, well, it ain't gonna be me, it's gonna have to be somebody. Wow. So all of this because she chose to stay in the room. But yeah, I like that you can actually see the butterfly effect of that. Because she would be someone vigilant enough to catch someone, Oh, she's buff as shit too!
I'd call this an absolute success.
What an absolute failure.
Oh, damn.
I was promised an army. I was promised peace and salvation. Instead, I get a girl.
Listen here. Super serum is still in her veins.
I'm sorry. You were meant to be the one to end the war.
Now you will. And don't worry about me. I never was much of a dancer anyway.
Maybe you haven't found the right partner.
So even in an alternate universe, they still love each other. See, that's another shining star in all of this. It kind of like, are you meant for that person? Like even in a whole other universe, would you still be in love with them? That's sweet to know that even there in this new timeline, they're still sweet on each other.
Hydra, Hitler's very own supernatural science.
Unless something happens in the next 10 minutes and they're not, well, technically 20.
Can I give you a piece of advice?
I'd rather you didn't.
Flynn's a moron. Lucky for you, I'm a genius. It was supposed to be your USO Let's Go Sell Some War Bonds costume, but I made a few upgrades.
Your covert skills need work.
Then this is gonna be awkward.
Damn. You know, I gotta say, I don't know their ages, but and Peggy is clearly for Steve and Steve for Peggy, but in another universe, her and oh my god, why is his daddy escaping my mind? Tony Stark's father, why is his name escaping me right now? Peggy and Tony's dad, like in a different life, they could have worked. They have good chemistry. I don't know their ages though. Damn. You won't wreck your car doing that, yeah? Shit. I just picked up on the fact that it looks more like the British flag.
Allies must be desperate, sending in a fragile Fraulein to fight for them.
Fragile.
Oh my god. Ah.
Are you the 107th? I'm here for Sergeant Barnes.
Who are you supposed to be? Queen of England?
But hey, this is his voice too. I'm glad that they have
Steve
all
Rogers
their
sent me.
voices.
The name's Captain Carter.
Don't you forget it.
Steve!
They put Steve in a
Now you owe me one.
iron, like, what's the Iron Buster, the Hulk thingy? Before it was the Hulk Buster.
That Hydra stomper?
I think I'm friends with him too.
No, it's Steve in it. You know what it kind of looks like? Do y'all remember Iron Giant that played on Cartoon Network in the 2000s? It kind of reminds me of Iron Giant. I'll have to watch that movie again. I wonder if it's streaming somewhere. And it also, you know what it also looks like? The very first Iron Man suit. Well, not the very first, but like, yeah, the first one and the one that Obadiah made. Hey, music.
Oh, we're all very proud, especially me.
Gives me swing vibes. She's such a badass. I like that she's always featured and that she's never forgotten. Not necessarily just because she's Steve's love interest, but she was generally a good character in the very first one. Because when you think of, like, I think she was in Ant-Man as well. Like, she's been in so many, because she's so integral to the foundation of S.H.I.E.L.D. So it makes sense that she's always there. Like, Peggy is like, why can't I forget Tony's dad's name? Shit, I can't fucking remember it. But yeah, both of them are so pivotal to the foundation of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is what kicked off the Avengers. So they're always in the peripheral of everyone's story.
Our intel is
Oh,
correct, and
is
the
this
Red
the
Skull,
mission
the
where
very
Bucky
head of
ended up falling?
Something about this smells as fresh as 3-day-old fish.
Or maybe you're just afraid of trains.
He falls off one in our timeline. Oh my god.
Woo! Thanks! You almost ripped my arm off!
Oh shit.
Peggy, go! Get
Oh, he is one step ahead of you. Did Steve die? Please no. Steve does not die in this iteration. Ain't no fucking way. No. Y'all did not just kill Steve!
Steve!
Yo, what if Steve is the Winter Soldier in this version?
Ah, Fräulein Carter. I was wondering when you might visit me. You're wasting your time. I will tell you nothing.
He told me everything.
Damn. Ooh, nice moonshot. Damn. You know, it's so funny. One of my critiques in the Captain America movie was that when they were charging in and that last fight, she didn't have a helmet. And even as Captain America, she still doesn't have a helmet. But I always get why they don't put women in helmets. It's for the hair purposes of it all. Is Steve still alive in there? What the fuck is that?
The champion of Hydra has risen!
Oh, a literal, like, Hydra.
The bloody hell.
That is a very appropriate reaction. I'm with Peggy. Why do y'all like fucking around with alien shit? Someone's awake. Just crush him. Crush him. Yeah. It's like Frankenstein in a way.
Steve! Steve!
Oh, there he is.
Don't give up on me.
Okay, well, he's not Winter Soldier, but as long as he's alive.
Steve?
Yes. Yes.
I told you it was indestructible.
Well, at least his creations were proven right. It's like, in a way, he created it before Tony. I don't know how I feel about that. There we go. Oh, he's gonna get, like, sucked into.
Peggy!
Oh, shit. Oh, Howard, your shit ran out of power.
Peggy!
Peggy, no!
I have to. I can end this.
You owe me a dance lesson.
Yes. Saturday night.
Y'all, is this how like she disappears for a very, very long time too? The hell is this? Did she come back?
Ma'am, please put down the sword.
Oh.
Where's Steve Rogers?
The
Dead?
war ended almost 70 years ago.
Oh.
As for me, these are my stories. I observe all that transpires here, but I do not, cannot, will not interfere. For I am the Watcher.
Oh, he's gonna interfere at one point, ain't he? That sounded way too like we're putting on the we put the gun on the table. He's probably gonna interfere at some point. I like that twist. So I guess when she went through the portal, it just like popped her out in a different time. It's like she jumped through time. So she didn't technically get ice. It's like an immediate, like for her, it was a second, 2 minutes max, but it's been 70 years. Cool twist, too. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this quick because I completely forgot that it's like the start of the month and that's when we get our lawn mowed, and I should have known when I heard the people across the street getting the lawn mowed that they were gonna be coming here next. So let me just try to wrap this up, and if you can hear them in the background, I am so sorry, so sorry. Okay, so that was our first like feel for what if is like its setup, its format, how it's going to move through, because I was a little curious as to how they're going to present these little what if scenarios. We have like this narrator called the Watcher, which I am curious if he's related to He Who Remains in some way, or if it's just like it's not a person but an entity that just watches the timeline or is part of time. Or maybe the Watcher is the beginning of time. I have no idea what he is, but he did mention that he must not interfere, and so I am finding myself very curious whether or not that's like, you put the gun on the table and at some point it's gonna have to go off. Like, will there ever be a point where the Watcher does interfere? Like, things are so dire that, okay, I gotta get involved. So I wonder if I'll ever get that. But yeah, like I was saying, this episode, I guess you can say Peggy was the proverbial stone just being thrown into the river and seeing how things branch and how different an entire scenario could like, just one different choice can lead to a completely different timeline. Or it's interesting because when I think about the changes that Peggy saying yes and staying to the room and staying in the room created, like, we get no Winter Soldier. Like, okay, the most obvious is Steve does not become the first Avenger, but that does make me wonder about some other things that he does seemingly become, or at least being set up to become. But yeah, Peggy becomes our Captain America, and we get no Winter Soldier because when she does do the rescue, Bucky's with the group. Like, because if I recall correctly, in the very first Captain America movie, when Steve goes in to rescue everyone, Bucky was not with them, and he had already been experimented on, and so when he gets to the train scene and he falls, he's able to survive it. So, and that also, no one takes a fall off a train, so that's also a bit different. We still get the sacrifice play, like Steve does his sacrifice with the whole plane thing, and Peggy pushes all of the tentacle, like the Hydra thing, into the portal that the Tesseract opened up. But I guess instead of an iceberg, that brings, like, an iceberg is what brings Steve into the 21st century. But in this case, it's the portal. The portal is what moves Peggy into the 21st century. And just, that makes me very interested in what Steve goes through without Peggy, without the super soldier serum. And I think it makes me wonder whether or not he becomes the first Iron Man. Like, instead of the first Avenger, does he become the first Iron Man? Because another alteration is that instead of Tony creating the very first concept of the Iron Man suit, it's Howard that does it. And I wonder if in that, because even if you think back to the conversation that Peggy and Steve were having in the bar, it gave me like, you know, that scene in Spider-Man Homecoming. Yeah, it's Homecoming, right? The very first one, when he's on, it's after the whole ferry debacle, and he's talking to Peter, and he's giving them that like dad talk, and he tells him, if you're nothing without that suit, then you shouldn't be wearing it. And it's about it's about who's on the inside. Like, you have to be confident in who you are before you put that suit on. So even that conversation Peggy and Steve were having before Howard interrupted them, it gave me something very reminiscent. The feeling I got of her kind of comforting Steve in that moment, because he felt like he wasn't being as respected as Peggy was, because he's just that regular old soldier. It just, the entire setup gave me Iron Man, Spider-Man vibes. So I do wonder if in that alternate universe, that branch, instead of being the first Avenger, or I should say the Captain America, he becomes our Iron Man. Because I would imagine if the suit was formed then, like, Howard would have still kept tweaking and tweaking and tweaking, because Howard and Tony, while they are very different, you can't deny that there's similarities to them. Sorry, I heard dog feet, so I didn't track. Sorry, I heard my dog stepping and I didn't know where it was coming from. Anyways, yeah, Howard and Tony have a lot of similarities, especially in their desire to tweak and tweak and tweak, and their innovations and their ideas and their approach to technology and growth and technological advancements. They're very much the same in that regard. So I do find myself, I'm like hard pressed to believe that Howard wouldn't have kept perfecting the suit. And given that Steve was the first one to wear it, it does make me wonder, like, what if Steve in this alternate timeline was Iron Man? Like, he was our first Iron Man before Tony, or like whether or not Tony even becomes Iron Man because he doesn't even wear the suit. Like, that entire branch just leads to a whole question about Tony and Steve. And there's always been this like parallel and this like dynamic between them throughout the entire MCU. So it's interesting that even in this you get a little play on it. Anyways, yeah, like I'm saying, I really am loving the format. I'm loving the like I said, the Watcher, they put that like gun on the table, and you kind of like, when you put it there, you kind of expect it to go off. So I'm kind of expecting him to have to interfere at some point. He's gonna have to like break that vow, and I would imagine it's because either something that he has to intervene on, like something happens and there's just, the implications are insane and he has to intervene, because I feel like that was what all of this was about. The creation of the TVA, what He Who Remained did, like the entire purpose was to protect time from going into a very dangerous space where it would threaten destruction for all. So I would imagine that would be like the one time the Watcher's like, let me interview. And I hope we get more of the Watcher. Like, we understand what and who he is. Like, what is this entity, the Watcher? He's our narrator for now, but I do wonder if we'll have like an episode centered on him. Now, for the next episode, I'm seeing that T'Challa is like stepping into Peter Quill's shoes. That's going to be very interesting, because if I recall the story of Peter, his father sort of used him as a way to, I forgot what it was, like take over planets. I forgot what it was. Like, his dad was a celestial creature being. He came to Earth, he planted stuff, he used the mother, then he gave the mom cancer to prevent himself from coming back. He then sent, I can't remember the blue character's name, Yondu, to pick up Peter, and then he ends up living a space pirate life, in a way, space collector, in like just jumping from planet. So that's Peter's life. And then T'Challa's life, of course, is, you know, Wakanda. He's the son of the king, and he becomes the Black Panther. So that is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see how they're going to approach that. I am curious. I don't know when What If came out. I'm pretty sure I can find out the date, but I do wonder if this was before or after his unfortunate, untimely, painful passing of Chadwick Boseman. Like, I am curious as to whether or not we'll get a chance to hear him, and if he's going to be featured in What if we'll find a way to, because I remember when I was watching, I think Black Panther, they had changed, I think someone said they changed the intro to honor him. So I wonder if this was done before or after his passing. Either way, hopefully I hope they do find a way to honor him, because I don't know where in the timeline, Jesus, where and when this was made. I'm going to leave it at that and say thank you all so much for watching, and I'm going to see you all for the next episode. Take care, everyone. And I'm so sorry if you heard the mowing of the lawn. Like I said, I just wanted to wrap this up as quickly as I can. I didn't want to get into another episode, but I guess I'm going to have to wait until they're done mowing the lawn. Anyways, thank you all so much.